Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell. Lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and of course, with us is the star of the show, Lee Cockerell. Lee, it's so good to see you. I'm always pleased when we get to our day of the week when we record.
Me too. Priscilla says, "What are you doing today?" I said, "I'm doing the same thing I do every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, talking to Jody." So now she knows my routine.
Yeah, that's right. And there's benefit to having regularity like that. And there's also benefit in doing something unexpected, like taking a vacation. And if you're going to do that, call our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. You can reach them at 407 442 2694. And I know vacation season is coming up here very quickly. And Lee and I actually have a surprise for you. We are closing in very quickly on episode 500 of Creating Disney Magic. And we want you to celebrate that with us. We're doing something we have never done before. We're going to record episode 500 live with a crowd, not in person. We decided if we did it in person, it would just be whoever's in Orlando that could join us. And that would be fun. But we realized people from all over the country, all over the world listen to Creating Disney Magic. And on such a milestone episode, we didn't want to limit our celebration to just Orlando. We want you to join us no matter where in the world you are. So we're going to record live and you can join us virtually. Sign up at leecockerell.com/500. That's the way to join us. If you register ahead of time, then we know you're coming and we're going to record the episode live with you and then publish it as an episode. It's going to be fun. That you'll have a chance to interact with Lee and with me. You'll have a chance to be with us when we record. A few people may actually end up on the episode talking with us. And we're going to have some giveaways, some books, some courses, so maybe some other things that you'll just be surprised about. We've got some fun giveaways planned for you. So go to leecockerell.com/500 to register to join us for the 500th episode celebration. Lee, I'm really looking forward to that. That's unlike anything we've done so far.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it also. That's fun. We can talk about 10 years of doing this.
Can you believe it? 10 years. My goodness.
Well, you were young when I met you, and your
You-
kids were babies. They were young. They were very young.
I know. They just think Lee Cockerell has always been a part of their life. Mr. Lee, as they call you.
And there you go.
I have a listener question for you, Lee. Before we get going, let me tell you that if you have a listener question or a topic that you would like us to talk about, then you can go to leecockerell.com or jodymayberry.com and send us a message and we'll do it. If you do not want your name shared, let me know that. And that is what we have here, Lee. This is anonymous question. This person said they've been working at the headquarters of a large retailer for 25 years, and they've been in the current position for 18 years. They're good at what they do. They've trained much of the staff and teammates there. Love their supervisor, think the supervisor is awesome and supportive, but the listener feels like they have been typecast in very behind the scenes position. They don't want a promotion within what they currently do, but they would love to no longer be behind the scenes and get known throughout the organization. And they've been trying to put themselves out there more, especially since the pandemic and how things have changed. And they said they volunteered at corporate meetings and special product projects. So the question to you, Lee, that's all the setup just for this. What else can I do to show my worth to others within my organization?
Yeah, to me, I would wonder, do they know you want to do something else? Have you had that discussion? And hey, I've been doing this a lot of time. I want to get out into the business. I want to get out front. I want to get where the customers are. I want to get into a different part of the business. Have you had that conversation? I think sometimes people they're just happy you sit there and you don't say anything and you're doing your job and you're doing a great job, and they don't see what you're thinking. That people don't know what we're thinking, and literally, the problem again here is you got to have the courage to go tell them. And also, it depends how bad you want this. I hate to say it, but 18 years is a long time to walk away. But I walked away from Hilton after 8 years, and I walked away from Marriott after 17 years because I wasn't where I wanted to be. And if you got all those skills and you're that good and you're that great, I would have two plans. I would be looking around right now and finding a couple of things where people would want you, and you kind of confirm with yourself by talking to others and other organizations that they would have a job for you. And then I would go down that path together, talk to your boss, talk to whoever's in the organization, and tell them what you want. Now, the problem is always, are you as good as you think you are? And do they believe you're as good as you think you are? And why aren't you getting those opportunities? And frankly, it might just be nobody thinks about it. You're there, you've always been there, and they don't even realize they should be doing something. And so, literally, I mean, I tell you what, in fact, I tell people, today, if I had to give advice to people going into a big company a company, and I think about my own career, if you're not getting promoted every 2 or 3 years, I would be wondering what happened. Why? There are opportunities, people are coming and going, and you can be loyal to that company, but are they going to be loyal to you? And literally, somebody should, either ought to trigger this or they ought to trigger this, that every 2 or 3 years you need to be moving up, and a little more responsibility, another position, more pay, getting yourself ready, training, finding out what you need to do to be better, and ask your boss, what do I need to do? And here's what I want to do. And make it easy for them to tell you the truth, because a lot of people are just quite happy with people who just stay there and are dependable and do their job, and they don't have any problems with them. They're thinking about their comfort, not yours, and not your future. They're thinking, oh, this works fine. I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to bring it up. I don't want this guy leaving. I don't have a problem in that area. Everything works fine. You got to express yourself, and you got to because it sounds like you deserve it, and you may just be a nice guy that's just not pushing hard enough, and frankly, corporations will take advantage of you. They don't love you as much as you love them. And at the end of the day, too many bosses just want to keep it comfortable. They want to have that person who just does a great job in an area, and they want them to stay there and not create any problems. And because when a really great person in an area of the company leaves, it's hard. They got all this knowledge and they know how to do it, and they've been doing it, and it just sails along perfectly. So that's what I suggest to you. It depends how bad you want it. If you want it bad enough, you'll get a parallel plan, and then you'll execute on that plan and see what happens. Because the longer you sit there and are not happy about this, your performance will eventually start to go down. Your attitude will start to go down. You'll feel like you've been taken advantage of, and you might have been. Sounds like you have been, actually. So that you gotta go for what you want, and they're not reading your mind. If you haven't been very crystal clear about it, then it's partially your fault. So there you go. That's what I would do anyway, and that's what I did twice. I said, no, I need more, and I wasn't getting it, so I moved on.
Well, Lee has hit on it that you just have to ask for your next opportunity, because as Lee said, they like it that you are good at your job and you come to work and quietly do your job. It makes it so much easier on your supervisor that you're good and you don't complain. And if you stay in your job, because you're so good after 18 years, if you stay in your job, it is so much easier on them than if they have to train someone else to do what you do, especially if the next person won't be as good as you. It's very easy on your boss. Now, Lee, I made the mistake early in my career, as just the curse of a Midwestern middle child. I believed if I showed up and I worked hard, people would notice, and that would lead to my promotion. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way anymore. Or maybe it never did. But when I look at the first promotion I got as a park ranger, a job came up that I really wanted within the same park. And I knew if I am not fierce about my pursuit of that job, I will not get it. And the day it opened, I went to the ranger that supervised that position and I said, I want that job. Tell me first of all, what are you looking for the next person to get that position? And based on what you know about me, what do I have to do between now and then to make sure I'm ready for that job? And I
Yep,
ended up with that job. I
absolutely.
wouldn't have if I hadn't pursued the next opportunity and asked for it.
That's the name of the game. Ask for what you want, and the odds go up dramatically that you'll get it.
That's right. Well, David Hancock, the founder of Morgan James Publishing, who has published two of Lee's four books, one of his sayings that I absolutely love is don't ask, don't get.
It's true. And it's not your boss's fault if he doesn't know. You know, a lot of people, most people, I would say most people actually take their jobs and stay in them. And I look back at my grandmother. She went to work for Phillips Petroleum and a clerical job. She stayed there 25 years and sat at her desk, and she was great and reliable. And she would never, she was kind of meek and quiet and never said anything. And this is common. This is very common. And so you got to be a little more aggressive, and you got to go tell your boss what you can do for them. And I told the guy this morning, we were talking about career, and I said, you know, he said, how do I go for an interview? I said, number one, go in there and tell them what you can do for them, what you can do for them with managing people, leading people, reducing turnover, business analysis. What do you bring to the table? Because they don't look at your resume for more than 2 minutes anyway. So absolutely, go in there with a plan and tell them. And if you don't hear the right answer, keep doing a good job while you look for another job.
All
Yeah.
right, Lee. So with this question and the advice you've already given, what would the next step be?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably take some time and sit and write down what points I'm going to bring to my boss and how I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to fill in the blanks that they don't know about me, and then I may say to them, I'd like to meet with you to talk about my career, and I'm going to send you a little list of things we're going to discuss, or I'm going to hand it to you when I come in. I'd have it in front of you so you don't forget. First, I have 6 things here I want to discuss with you today, sir. And here's I've been, but number one, I've been here, da da da. Here's what I've done. Here's my responsibility. Here's my performance. Number two, what I want to do is I want to go out front. I want to get into the business. I want to get deeper into this area or that area. Number three, I'd like to know when this can happen. You know, I'm not saying it has to be now, but in the next 6 months, I would expect this to happen. And if not, and if I'm not a candidate, I would like for you to tell me why, because I've been dedicated and committed. I've been here every day and I care about the company and I think I can add more. Just kind of boom, 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 boom. So you don't go in there without a list and forget to say 2 or 3 things that you were going to say because you get nervous or gets emotional. And I always said, hey, when I walk in, I want to talk to you about 2 things today. I want to talk to you about 4 things today. I want to talk to you, and here they are: number one, number two, number three, number four, and have them, plan your attack, plan which way you're coming in and what you're going to ask for, and don't not do it once you get in there. Just go
Yeah,
for it.
that could be the most important piece, right? Don't not do it.
Yeah, people come in and they're going to straighten you out. After the first 5 minutes, they don't tell you half a dozen things they were going to tell you. And then you lose out, they lose out, and they may end up quitting and leaving the company.
Let's say I am a supervisor, Lee, and what I have heard you say has worried me, not about myself, but realizing, oh no, I could have some employees that are feeling this very same way, that feel like they should have gotten out an opportunity and it hasn't been given to them. And now I'm thinking, who on my team am I potentially going to lose because they don't feel they've gotten the opportunity they've deserved? What would you do about that if you're that supervisor?
I would say every supervisor, every manager, every leader out there in the world, this ought to be one of the main things they focus on is you and your career, and they talk to you about it. And you know, when you and you have these sessions, whether it's every 6 months or once a year, you sit down and talk. They talk to you about what you want to do, not what they want you to do. And this should be a part of, checking in, making sure you're, even with my teams at Disney, I used to tell them, listen, guys, I want you to raise your hand and swear not to leave the company until you come and talk to me about it and see if we can work it out. If you get to a situation you're not happy, you want another job, you don't like what you're doing, and we can talk it out and work it out. And I don't want you to leave. And so they know that, hey, it'll be easy to go talk to Lee because he's already told us, come on in and say what you think, and we'll get to the right place. Yeah.
All right. That is wonderful advice. This was a great question. If you have a question or a topic, you can reach out to either one of us and we'll bring it on the show. And I want to remind you again that 500th episode celebration is May 6th, 6 p.m. Eastern time. All you have to do to join us is go to leecockerell.com/500 and register, and then you'll get the invite to join us for that live recording. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.